want to say a few words about technical recruiting. It's something till this day that I find completely counterintuitive. I expect it to be kind of like the military recruiting experience, where the big companies want you, and in the military the way it works is you come in, you take the standardized test. If you do well on the test, they want you. The Navy, Air Force, Marines, they will compete. They'll try throw perks at you and explain you how one branch of service better than the other. And as long as you can sign your name and pass the test, they'll sign you and they'll ship you out. They'll find a job for you. They'll train you for the job. They want you. They actively coming after you. This is not how tech recruiting works at all. Tech recruiting will seem similar on the early stages, meaning they will throw events. Recruiters will come to your college. They'll organize evening coding hours and come meet our engineers type of events, and they will go to places and they'll give out swag and all that stuff. But if you go to one of these like events that they organize, for example, you can go to like a night with like coding exercises, and you'll have like a room of 40 or 50, 60, 80 people showing up, and you can tell like they're all kind of like honored and a little curious why they're there, and they want to see what will happen. And they show up, and then there'll be probably somebody from the company, and they'll tell you, here I am, here's what I do at the company, I love my job, blah blah blah. Let's do some coding challenges. Then before you have any time to really finish them, it's already time to go home. They'll probably have some snacks and appetizers and some food, and then it's done and you go home, and you like, okay, what was that about? Like, what was the point? And I see that time and time and time again, and the more I do it, the more I kind of get used to it, but it still surprises me till this day. It's like, okay, you go through all this effort and there's nothing at the end of it. Like, you're not gonna like try to upsell the company, get people to take the next step or something, but they don't. They really don't. They just kind of do those things, and I think my best guess of why it's happening is, I think the name of the game for tech companies is filling the pipeline. They have this pipeline of candidates, and they want to have a steady stream of interested people applying to work there. And this kind of events is their way of making sure that this stream of candidates never dries up. Although I don't even think Google or Facebook or Amazon or any of those companies have a hard time filling the pipeline. Like, everybody knows about those companies. Everybody will probably try to apply there at some point in their lives. But for some reason they still do those events all the time. But my point is, if you go to one of these events, don't expect much. Probably nothing will come out of it. Not even a follow-up from recruiter. Maybe follow-up from recruiter if you're lucky. But usually just recruiters will just kind of be like, there will be recruiter reaching out to you, inviting you to this event, and then they're not gonna say anything. They're just gonna wait for you to make the next move. Not sure why, but that's how it works. I think it's stupid personally, but if you need people, why don't you go after people? Why don't you make them feel important? And I think that would work, but they don't. They just wait for you to make the first move, sort of like invite them to dance, so to speak. And then once you do, they just go right in the pipeline. Hopefully things work out. They'll probably, some hiring manager will review your resume. You obviously were pre-screened by your recruiter, otherwise they wouldn't have reached out to you. And then you do a phone screen, and then you go in person and do an on-site interview. For 4 or 5 people, typically speaking, and that's that. And that's always how it goes. So my advice to you: those events, recruiting events, can be a huge waste of your time, because there's nothing will come out of them. So if you can get into the recruiting pipeline by just sending your resume to a recruiter, or having somebody at the company refer you internally, that's much better use of your time than the 2-3 hours that you would go to like talk to some random person with no outcome at the end of it. Probably will be better spent by just practicing technical interview questions that will be asked at the technical interview, if you make it all this far into the pipeline. So that's sort of my take on technical recruiting. Is mainly misleading. It's mainly a waste of your time. I mean, if you want to go, if you generally have no other way of meeting or know anybody who works at the company, it might be fun to go and to talk to some people, try and probe the culture a little bit, but that's the only thing you're going to come out of it. You're not even going to get a follow-up from recruiter, as I mentioned. So yeah, just be mindful of that. Don't expect anything from those things. And if you have other ways of getting to the pipeline, your time is probably better spent there. That's sort of my take on take recruiting. If I'm wrong, if I'm missing something, please let me know. Thanks.